All right, welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z. That's Johnny Bravo. We are breaking down UFC 306, UFC Noche. It is Dana White's love letter to Mexico. It's in the Sphere, so this should be interesting. It should be an interesting watch. There's only 10 fights, which makes me a little bit nervous because we've got Brian Ortega on the card, and God only knows what can happen with him. But hopefully all the fights stay together and we get our full 10 in. But Johnny, football's back. We had a nice weekend last weekend. How you feeling? What do you think about this card?
Yeah, this is a love letter to Mexico. This is going to be an interesting card. I wonder how it's all going to be set up with with the crowd and the octagon and how that
Yeah.
could almost kind of affect. Maybe it'll affect some fighters. I guess they're going to be morphing through like the time in Mexico on the screen. So like I don't know how that
Yeah.
might affect. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, this should be a spectacle. For the 10 fights, Dana spent like 22 million, or he came like 8 million out of pocket.
Yep.
He's invested in this. Some pretty good fights on here. And let's see how this turns out. It's going to be interesting. It could either be really good or it could be a disaster.
Yeah, I think it's going to look awesome. I am curious, though, man. That's going to be a massive screen behind the fighters to see if anybody
Yeah.
gets distracted or how that plays out. Because, it's usually pretty dark around the octagon when they do fight. So
And then you're
we lost Johnny. Looks like there you go. You back?
Yeah, you're gonna have like this big hill of like 16,000 people in the arena. Like, how is
Right.
that gonna affect these fighters? Haven't fought in anything like this before. And what's the
Yeah.
morphing like through time that's gonna be on the screen? That's gonna be interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know,
man.
but should be fun.
I, it'll be cool for us. I think it'll be a good watch. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and yeah, I think it'll be good. There's a lot of I like. This isn't a big name card, but I do like a lot of the fights. I think it's going to be an exciting card, so should be fun. With that said, let's jump right on into it. We've got the first fight of the night. We've got Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Orichi Lang. This is a bantamweight bout. Rosas Jr., he's a very young prospect. They expect a lot from this kid. I expect a lot from this kid. I think we all do. Taking on Orichi Lang, who's been up and down a little bit in the UFC. He's got a lot of fights, 35 fight vet, and a lot of experience. But he can be taken down, which is what Rosas Jr. does. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Raul Rosas, the wonder kid here. The one of the youngest fighters in the UFC. Still kind of green. We've seen him hit a roadblock with Christian Rodriguez with C Rod. But other than that, he's looked good. Grappling is, that's his greatest weapon is his grappling, his subs. His wrestling is phenomenal. I would say he probably needs to work on his striking on the feet. Maybe tune that up a bit. But man, yeah, he's a young kid. He's got a lot of potential. Um, he's looked good. And then Arichi Lang, he's a vet, been in the UFC for a while. A lot of fights. Pretty well-rounded guy. He's got decent power in his hands, good striking. He's got some good wrestling, but he can be taken down and controlled. So I think this is pretty much just going to be Raul Rosas just doing pretty much mat returns, and if he can hold them down and find the position to get a sub, which I think he probably does. This is probably Rosas by sub, and
Yeah.
start the card off with get the fans going crazy, and we get a chee and we're good.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think this is all Rosas. I think the sub is definitely the way to go here. There is the outside chance that he, TKOs him with some ground and pound.
Yeah, if he
That's
gets
live as
to a
well.
dominant position, yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't looked at the prices on the props. I don't even know if I have props yet.
They're
I
out.
looked earlier in the day. I didn't have any, so But I think
Rosas by sub is not good.
Yeah.
It's minus 175.
What's his TKO KO?
The KO is 400, so that's not bad.
Yeah, so I mean that might be worth a sprinkle. I think the sub's the way to go, but yeah, I think he could definitely TKO him as well. But either way, I do think he probably finishes this fight. Arichi Lang, he's good, he's tough, but yeah, he can be put into some pretty compromising spots, and he does tend to take some damage. So yeah, I think Rosas by sub would be the starting point, but yeah, a little sprinkle on the KO as well. All right, our next fight is, if I can get it pulled up, there we go. In the flyweight division, we have Edgar Chairez taking on Joshua Van. Van's last fight, he was looking great, dominating. I called him a prodigy about probably a minute before he got flatlined, so that aged well. But I do think Van is really good. He's taking on Chairez, though, who's heavy hitter, very dangerous, dangerous subs, good power. Van, 2 months away or 2 months removed from being knocked out in that fight. Pretty short return. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was real high on Josh Van. He took a step back in his last fight, like you said. I mean, Johnson. I mean, the problem with this dude, he always loses round one. That's the thing. He never comes out strong. It's like he builds his way into fights and starts to take over. He's coming in on short notice here. He just got knocked out 2 months ago. I mean, he's got a well-rounded game. Good, not well-rounded because we don't know if he gets taken down. Like his grappling isn't that well. I mean, that good, but
Right.
he should be working on it. But I mean, on the feet, I mean, this guy's striking is like it's nice to watch. He's got crisp combinations. To the body, to the head. Good cardio, can go a hard 15. And yeah, I like the kid, but it's definitely concerning how he got starched in his last fight against Charles Johnson, who doesn't finish anybody.
Yeah.
And he got starched, which is concerning there. And Chairez is just, I mean, he's not like he's never going to be like a champion or anything, but I mean, he's like a middle of the road Mexican warrior that has heart, and he's pretty well rounded everywhere. He's got good power on the feet, sneaky subs, good subs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Van, but it's concerning. It's maybe like a Van, like what's a Van like decision? Maybe that might be with the way to go. But I don't know. This is a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Plus 125. Maybe Van round 3 or decision. But I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I don't like that he's returning so quick after just getting starched like that. He is young, though. So, I mean, he could just, but I don't know. I think it's probably Van, but I don't like the number.
Yeah, I went into it thinking Van originally because I was like, yeah, he got clipped. Not a big deal. Then I looked at the timeline. And I was like, all right, that was recent. And then I go back and I watch his fights, and man, he does get hit hard in a lot of his fights. And Chairez hits hard. So, 2 months after getting knocked out, there's a very good chance he gets knocked out again here. And, he could potentially wrestle. I think he does have decent wrestling if he wants to use it. He's nothing special, but I think he can wrestle.
Chairez.
No, Van. I think Van has some wrestling. I know he's been working on it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's.
I mean, he hasn't really shown it,
and I don't think he would want to take the fight to the ground with Chairez.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I would want to do that either because his submissions are good. I think he's got 7 wins by sub. I think he's got 7 wins by knockout. Chairez. So, I just think Chairez is dangerous everywhere, and Van, he can be hit and he can be hurt, and I think. I like the dog shot here on Chairez. I think he gets it done. I do think live, I mean, like you said, Van usually loses the first round. So, maybe he does get clipped early and survive. and we could get a price on him late because he does. I mean, as fights go on, he lands to the body. He's always pushing forward. His great combinations. It's like he's a totally different fighter round 2 and 3 from the start of the fight. So, Van could have a bad first round, and there could be a live betting chance here on him. But as of right now, I'm going to roll with the dog here. I think I got to go with Chirez. I just think he can clip him. I think he can hurt him, and he's just dangerous everywhere. I just think he's live.
Yeah, I lean Van here.
All right, yeah, I mean it's a close fight. Like I said, I could see myself by the end of it having a bet on both guys. But yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. All right, our next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We have Yasmin Hairigi taking on Ketlin Souza. Hairigi, very high-paced, good combinations, just overall well-rounded. Souza, she's got some power, decent combos, tends to slow a little bit, but she is dangerous. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Yasmin, I mean, she looked like she was the real deal, I mean, she's well-rounded. She's good power in her hands, good striking, good wrestling. And then, coming in, I was high on her in that Gomez fight, and I mean, she just got flatlined in that fight. But I don't blame her. I mean, Denise Gomez has a lot of power, and then she does bounce back and put together a good performance. Yeah, she's minus 500. Caitlin Souza. I mean, I don't know how good she is. I mean, Rene Silva just like insta tapped her on the ground, and we haven't seen her since. I think she probably blew out her knee when she got knee barred. So she's coming back here. She hasn't fought in a while. I mean, she's got decent striking. She's got power in her hands. She has some knockouts on her record. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably Yasmin KO. I would probably take the shot here. I mean, she's a minus 500 favorite. I don't want to put that in a parlay, so I would probably minus 150 by decision. So I'd probably take a shot on her by KO or KO 2 or 3. I mean, she's got power in her hand. She's got finishing ability, and I don't know how the durability of Souza is. So yeah, I would probably take on this one. I'll probably just take a shot on the KO 2 or 3 at a good plus number. I wouldn't want to lay any kind of juice in this fight.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think especially as the fight goes on, I think Souza slows down. Hairigi puts on a pretty good pace. She's got good combinations. I think she can just kind of put some volume out there, even if it's not a one-shot knockout. I think she could just wear on her, find a TKO. I think it is pretty one-sided as this fight goes long. I did think about Hairigi as a decision, but man, it does worry me. I do think that late TKO is probably the way to go. So
KO 2 or 3. It's probably going to be a nice number too. Probably like a 12-1, maybe 15-1 or something.
Yeah, especially if we get something like that, that'd be great.
Her by knockout is plus 300. So
yeah, that's not bad.
Hold on, yeah, her alone. Her in round 2 is 850 just by itself. Round 3, 14. Yeah, so we're probably going to get some nice prices if we want to get crazy.
That's probably that's probably the way to go. Rounds 2 and 3, and or the TKO by itself. But yeah, I do. I just think I think she puts the volume on her, puts the pace on her, and just kind of wears her down and gets her out of there. All right. The next fight is this should be a good one. We've got Manuel Torres taking on Ignacio Bahamondes, lightweight bout. Both guys are very good strikers. Not really going to go to the grappling too much, I would think. Torres basically first round finishes in all of his fights except for one. which was a 3-round decision, which was quite a while ago. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this one is a banger right here. I'm looking forward to this one. This one's going to be fun. Manuel Torres, I mean, the dude is just a first round finish machine. I mean, violent finishes. I mean, he just ragdolled Chris Duncan in his last fight, took him out in round 1, submitted him, and then the Malta, the elbow. I mean, whew, I think it was Malta
Yeah,
right with the elbow. Yeah,
yeah, that
wow,
was
that was
nasty.
fucking nasty. And yeah, this
Nasty.
guy's he's fun to watch. Like, I mean, he just puts people out. Um, yeah, I'm high on this guy. I mean, and then we got Ignacio, who's just like an elite striker. I mean, his striking is crisp. He's got cardio. The thing is, we don't know how good the cardio of Torres is going to be because if it gets pushed longer, we don't know. He never gets out of round 1, so that's the
Yeah,
question mark for him. And Bahamondes he's really good. I mean, the striking is pretty crisp, just all around, just a good fighter. I think he can grapple here if he wants to. Take him down maybe early and maybe try to wear on him early and then just take over the later the fight goes. Yeah, but this one is going to be an all-out banger. Two pretty well-matched guys, two evenly matched. Whether Torres can get that round 1 finish and catch him, but I think definitely if it goes later, then it's going to be Bahamondes probably taking over and winning 2 and 3. The way I probably looked at playing it is probably taking Torres KO round 1 and then taking Bahamondes KO 2 and 3. I mean, that would be one way. You're gonna get plus money. So if one of those hits, somebody knocks somebody out, then you're gonna get paid out. So that's you make a little bit. So that's the way I was planning on attacking it. But yeah, on the money line side, I think I like Bahamondes to get it done here to
okay.
survive that early storm and just take over and yeah, because I mean, Bahamondes' chin is pretty good, but this guy's a killer, so you never know.
Right.
Definitely be
Yeah.
sprinkling that round 1 KO. Definitely going to be sprinkling that, no matter what. I bet just to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's Bahamondes.
Yeah. So I mean, I went into this one thinking Torres, basically because I do think he could get him out of there in the first round. And then I thought potentially again live betting opportunity if he does hurt. I mean, we've seen Bahamondes get hurt in the first round and survive. But usually when that happens, you're going to get a decent odds swing. So you might get a good price on Bahamondes going into round 2. And then, if it goes into round 3, I think he probably would be the side. So the way I'm looking at it is I'm looking at Torres round 1, like you said, and then I'm probably going to look at a live betting opportunity. And, the odds are relatively close. Actually, they were. What's the money line right now on Torres?
Torres took money. Torres is the favorite, minus 120 now.
Yeah.
It was pick on a lot. Yeah.
It is pretty close.
Bahamondes
So
is like plus 105, plus 100.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's close. So yeah, like I said, if we do get a big odd swing, you could get a good price on Bahamondes late. So yeah, I mean, officially, I'm going to pick Torres because I do think he's probably the hardest hitter that Bahamondes has faced, and if he does hit him like he's been hit in the past, I think he probably could put him away. But yeah, if it goes late, I think Bahamondes definitely live.
Yeah, Torres round 1 KO is plus 450. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Bahamondes KO round 2 is plus 825. KO round 3 is 11-1 for Bahamondes, which I don't mind those at all.
Yeah, so those are nice.
So,
yeah, all right. So I mean, technically we're on opposite sides of both, but I mean we do see the fight basically
similar,
pretty much the same. Yeah. So Torres early, Bahamondes late is kind of the way we're looking at that one. All right, our next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. We have Irene Aldana taking on Norma Dumont. Another close one, a bit of a styles clash here. Dumont more than likely going to want to try to wrestle. Aldana, much better striker, very good boxing, tough as nails, high volume. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, big Norma Dumont fan, big Aldana fan too. But big Norma fan, big Norma fan, for obvious reasons. And but I think this is pretty much going to be a striker versus grappler. But I don't know. I think Norma's striking is pretty decent. I mean, she's got power in her hands. She's pretty well rounded here, well rounded. And the thing about Norma is when she gets the takedown, she doesn't really land too much damage. It's kind of just there with like control time and not doing much, But I mean, lately her fight IQ in these fights, I mean, she's been winning, and then just like she's been like obviously following the game plan, take these girls down, get on top. I'd like to see her land, some more damage while she's on top. But I mean, the grappling seems to be pretty good. Yeah, she's been looking pretty solid lately. And then Aldana, she's a good fighter, great striker, great striking. She's but she can be taken down. The takedown defense is suspect. But she does have good volume, good striking. She's an elite striker. She's got good, a good volume. And I'm gonna think Norma probably is able to just take her down and rinse and repeat here. I mean, I could see Aldana, but I think the discrepancy is just going to be pretty much like she's just going to be able to get her down whenever she wants. It's whether when it's on the feet and she's touching her that what the judges score, because I could see Norma getting takedowns, not doing anything, and then Aldana landing more on the feet, more of the impactful shots on the feet. But yeah, I'm going to lean with the wrestler here to be able to get the job done and be able to take her down, neutralize her, and grind out a decision.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that's a path. But I'm going to roll with Aldana here because, like you said, I think the action is going to be coming from Aldana. So I think Dumont can take her down, can control her, but she's gonna have to do something because anytime it's on the feet, Aldana is going to be moving forward, throwing heavy volume. She does, she scrambles decently to her feet. I mean, she can definitely be held down, but I think the more impactful moments are going to come from Aldana, and this is kind of one of those fights where you kind of have to, it depends on what kind of judges you get. You could get judges that favor the grappling and it's easy Dumont, or, the activity.
I could see it being a split.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Split written all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to go all 3 rounds because
it's going to be greasy, yeah.
Dumont's going to she's going to have success wrestling. I know she is. Yeah, and Aldana's gonna be the more active of the two. So, yeah, split's definitely going to be live. I think it's going to go all 3 rounds. I think either one of them you could just bet by decision just to get a better price that way. If it, I don't know how much better it will be, but I'm going to roll with Aldana, hoping the activity is going to be enough. But yeah, this is a very close fight.
What's this fight by split? Probably going to be like plus 250 for the split.
Yeah, it's probably not a great number.
It's going to be terrible. Let me see here.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's 250.
Yeah. Oh. That's probably accurate though, unfortunately.
Yeah. So let's go, Norma.
All right,
get it done for me, Norma.
It's gonna be a good one. Our next fight is in the flyweight division. We have Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Ode Osborne. And O'Day, he's been in the UFC a little while. He's very talented. Does tend to find ways to lose more often than not. He kind of reminds me of Michael Johnson in that sense. Taking on Ronaldo Rodriguez, who, he's new to the UFC. He's a pressure fighter. He seems to have good cardio. Seems to be tough as nails. We still don't know a ton about him at this level, but he seems to be, just a guy who's going to go forward and just fight. And, that could wear on the cardio of Osborne. That's been a problem for him in the past. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, when Rodriguez came into the UFC, I wasn't high on him coming in. I didn't think he was that good. I mean, he could get pretty much taken down pretty easily, but he is kind of slick and can get reversals and stuff. He's got decent grappling, good subs. On the feet, though, he's kind of wild and reckless, and there's not too much technique behind it. He's very hittable, I think. And I just don't know how good he is. He's a big question mark for me. He's not a guy that I want to back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, do I want to bet O'Day Osborne? I mean, the guy's got all the tools. He's got a full toolbox. He's pretty well rounded. But it's like the fight IQ is terrible. The cardio is suspect. I don't know how good it is. For him to go a hard 15, I don't know.
Right.
And durability is a big question. We've seen him get flatlined before, many times. Yeah. The chin is a big question. I'm going to lean. O'Day probably catches him here and puts him out. But I really don't want to bet a side. And, my favorite bet is probably the under 2.5 here. Just see violence. Because I could see, O'Day getting caught in a sub or getting chinned. And I can see O'Day starching him with, a flying knee or, an elbow or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, lean O'Day wins, but my favorite play in this one is going to be the under. It's minus 130. So, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like the under for sure. I like Rodriguez for the simple fact that I do think he's durable. And even if O'Day does land something big, I think he can survive it, at least early. But I agree. I mean, as this fight goes on, I think Osborne's cardio kind of goes out the window. Rodriguez pushes a pace. He could get him out of there. And then, Rodriguez is very sloppy. So Osborne could catch him with something at any point in the fight. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a brawl. And I do think Rodriguez, especially as the fight goes long, I think he has the pace and the cardio to win. But I do think I like the under 2.5 for sure. I do see violence in this fight. But my official pick will be Rodriguez. All right, our next fight is in the lightweight division. We've got Daniel Zellhuber taking on Esteban Ribovics. Two very good strikers. Each guy has one loss. Is a lot of upside with both guys here. I'm not sold on Zellhuber quite yet. I do have some question marks with him. Ribovics, he can be taken down. We've seen that in the past, but he does have a slick Kimura sweep that he tends to land all the time. So he does seem to find his way back to the feet, and when he's on the feet, he's looking to spark somebody. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is another fun one. Another one I'm looking forward to here. Two guys that are pretty talented. Ribovic, he's a dog. That's just he walks forward. He throws. He doesn't stop walking forward. He just walks, throws volume. My concern with him is the takedown defense. Like a gust of wind can take him down. It's just that easy. Right. Pretty much from what I've seen, there's no problem there. But necessarily, that's not Zellhuber's game. he's going to want to stand and strike, you know, and I think he's going to probably want to keep this on the outside and use his length to just piece him up. I think and if he wanted to get takedowns, I think he could easily get takedowns, mix in the takedowns with the striking, and have success there. Um, yeah, I'd like Zellhuber here to get the job done. Yeah, but I like both of these guys. I'm high on both of these guys. You know, so it's like, man, I I think Zellhuber gets it done though. I think he can knock him out. But I think I think Ribovic is pretty durable, so it's probably a Zellhuber by decision. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah, I
this is
think
going to be a
it'll be.
war. This is going to be a fun war, and I think could be an interesting live betting opportunity as well. But I'm going to lean
Yeah.
Zellhuber gets the job done probably in a 15-minute war.
Man, we are on. We're looking at these fights very similar, but we are on the opposite sides here on all of them. I like Ribovic here, man. I think he's got very dangerous power. I think he's willing to come forward. He'll take some shots to land some shots, and he can be taken down, and that's for sure. Zellhuber, he's landed one. He's got one takedown to his credit in the UFC. That was on the Contender Series. He's got 33% takedown percentage. So it's not really part of his game. Obviously, it's something he could try to mix in. But Ribovic has a very, very good Kimura sweep. And we saw that when he fought Loik, was it Rachibov, who took him down like 11 times, and he kept landing. He grabbed the Kimura, swept him, got back to his feet, landed bombs. He did keep getting taken down. But yeah, it's definitely a nice little tool that he has. And yeah, I just think he's going to push forward. I think he has the power for sure. And he's a pretty sizable underdog here. So I think he's worth a shot. I think he can get it done. And but yeah, overall, it's going to be a fun fight for sure. I'm looking forward to this one. Let me make sure I got this one. Yep. All right, our next fight is one that we were scheduled to see, I don't know, like 2 months ago or so. We had Brian Ortega taking on Diego Lopez. Ortega came in on short notice, missed weight, and then ended up sick. Dan Ige, on the night of the fight, took the fight on like 6 hours notice against Diego Lopez. Actually turned out to be a pretty decent fight. Ige ended up winning the third round of that fight. So there's some question marks with Ortega here at 145. He did talk about moving up. Here he is again, looking to make that weight cut. So who knows what we're going to get. But I think it's a very good matchup. I think it's a fun fight if Ortega comes in and makes weight. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is gonna be a banger if Ortega can make it to the octagon. Yeah, these are pretty two similar guys, two guys with good jiu-jitsu. I mean, we've seen Ortega make improvements on the feet since the Max Holloway fight. I mean, he can pretty much hold his own on the feet. You know, he's a tough guy. He's got good volume, good power in his hands. Yeah, and Lopez has just been that dog. I mean, he's making, he's starching foods in round one. I mean, he's putting people out, yeah, really, really, really like Lopez, but I don't know. I think this is a tough one. I'm not too sure where to go here.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
hear
the
you.
minus 170 on Lopez. I don't like that. Especially, I mean, I know Dan Ige was on short notice, but I mean, Dan Ige got off the couch and he couldn't get him out of there. I know Dan Ige's tough, but I mean,
Yeah,
you got to get him out of there. I mean, he just got off the couch. You got to put him
right.
away there. Yeah, and then I seen him like kind of like slow down in that fight. It kind of seemed like once it hit that third round, he was kind of like just like he banked the first two and kind of was just that was it, and I don't know. I think Ortega can get takedowns here, and and land damage. I don't know. I think like we've seen in the Evloev fight. I mean, Evloev took him down pretty easily. You know, he
Yeah,
is squirmy on the ground. He's got good BJJ, but I mean, Ortega's just as good.
right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think if Ortega comes in, I got to see the scales, see how Ortega looks on the scales, see what's going on here. But I might find my way to Brian Ortega here at plus 150 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, man. Last
I
time
think that was
I
my
was,
pick in the last one too. I was on Ortega, I think so.
yeah, I was on
I
Ortega
got to
too,
just
and
stick with it.
until the weigh-ins, and then I believe I did end up switching because I didn't like the way Ortega looked. But yeah, I feel I'm curious to see what he looks like on the scales, because if if Ortega was in that fight last time when he fought when Lopez fought Ige, I feel like Ortega probably ends up winning that fight late.
Yeah,
Because one thing that he can do is he can survive, and he's a real problem the later the fight goes on.
he's tough.
So I do worry. We've seen fluke injuries with him. Obviously, he didn't make it to the
Yep.
fight last time because of sickness. So all that stuff adds up, especially when you're making tough weight cuts. But if he comes in and has a decent weight cut and looks, pretty much like himself, I feel like I have to take the dog money here on Ortega, just because I've seen him come through in spots where, like that Yair fight, I didn't think he was. I thought he was cooked, and
Yeah.
Yair was getting off, was landing big shots, big kicks. I thought it was a cakewalk, and then the next thing you know, Brian
Yep.
Ortega's finishing the fight.
Brian
So
Ortega's getting takedowns, landing damage on top. You
yeah,
know, he's just a dog, man. He's like a warrior, but he's just his health. He can never he's never stay healthy. Like that's the problem
right,
with the guy. You know what
yeah,
I mean? He's a great fighter, but he just doesn't stay healthy.
yeah.
And
So
Lopez, eh,
I mean,
but
officially right now, I'd say I'm probably going to be on Ortega for the reasons we just said. But again, we'll see what the weigh-ins look like.
yeah, I got to see the scales before I place my money anywhere here.
Yeah, but if he looks good, he's like plus 180 right now or whatever.
Plus
It's worth a
150 right
shot.
now.
150. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's worth a shot for sure. And if we get vintage Ortega, he could definitely win this fight. All right, our next fight is for the women's flyweight title. This is the third time these two have fought. Grasso won the first one by sub. Then they fought to a draw, which, I mean, Valentina could have got that decision. It was a weird. One judge had it for Grasso, another judge had it for Valentina, and a third judge who had it for Valentina gave Grasso a 10-8 in the fifth, which made it a draw. Interesting scorecard there. Very close fight, competitive fight. They've been competitive, both times. Yeah, this one's interesting for sure. Valentina, she's older. Fights have been close. Can she turn back the clock here and get her belt back? I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm on Grasso here, but I don't know. It's tough. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is kind of a weird trilogy. I mean, the first fight is Grasso wins round one. She looks real sharp. And then round 2 and 3, Valentina just pretty much dominates and takes over. Looks like she's cruising. She's like minus 2,000 live. Round 4 hits. And then one little mistake, Grasso jumps on that back, grabs that neck, and then bang, it's over. After she was going to lose the fight. If it was going 5,
Right.
Valentina would still be the champ, but Grasso got the submission and got the win. Right, we didn't see that one coming. That was unexpected. Then we come into the second fight, and it was kind of like, I mean, what was concerning for me was, I mean, definitely Grasso had her moments in the fight. Like she landed the big shots, she dropped her, right?
Yeah.
She dropped her, but how easily Valentina was just able to take her down. That was the concerning
Right.
part for me, And I was on Valentina in that fight, and I thought she had won, but one judge fucking gave her a 10-8 in the fucking fifth round.
Right.
And that's why it was scored the draw, or else it would have been Valentina,
Right. Yeah.
So this is kind of a tough one. Valentina's getting older. I heard Valentina didn't want to fight here at the Sphere, but I guess they eventually made it happen. She's getting older. Grasso's the younger fighter. She's probably been working on her grappling and her takedown defense. She's with Diego Lopez, who's a grappling coach, they're probably working on stuff and improving in that area. I would hope that she could probably stuff the takedowns a little better, but I think this is going to be a super close one again, but I definitely think the finishing upside is probably on the Grasso side. I mean, we've seen her crack her, we've seen her drop her. I don't like the price now that Grasso's the favorite.
Right.
But this is a super tough one. I don't know where to go yet, but I'm going to say Grasso retains the championship as of now. But I don't have a bet on it yet. I'm still thinking about it. And yeah, but ultimately I'm leaning towards Grasso as of now, but I need to sit on it for a few more days.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I think she's probably going to be more prepared for the anti-wrestling or sweeps, being active. I mean, because we saw her land a couple of reversals in the last fight. And one of them was in that fifth round where, she ended up kind of having a good.
Yeah, but she was losing the round until she got
I agree.
position.
There's no world where that was a 10-8 round. I agree 100%.
The last 90 seconds, she got on top and she landed those shots, and then,
right.
I mean, MMA judging, right?
Yeah, it's insane. But if she does that kind of stuff earlier in the fight, earlier in the rounds, that can be all she needs to win this fight. Just improve there a little bit. She does get taken down, don't get held down for too long. Reverse sweep, do whatever you can, be active. That could be the difference maker in the fight. Normally, Valentina has a very high advantage when it comes to striking. It's just not the case here. Grasso's striking is very good boxing. And we've seen Grasso drop Valentina, which is not something that you see ever. So Valentina getting older, Grasso's confidence probably improves with each fight. Yeah, I lean Grasso here. I think she probably retains. But again, it's a close fight. Valentina's had a lot of good minutes in the time that they fought each other. She's won a good majority of these rounds. So she's still alive. But I think Grasso finds a way to get it done. Which brings us to our main event, a fight that we've been talking about for a couple of years now. These two have kind of been circling each other, been going back and forth. We've got Sean O'Malley, the champ, taking on Merab Dvalishvilli. O'Malley, an elite striker. That's what he does. Merab, cardio machine, takedown after takedown after takedown. This one's very interesting to me. I could see O'Malley sparking him, but I could also see Merab just pushing that pace, landing takedowns, and just kind of avoiding the striking for the most part. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is the fight we've all been waiting for. This is the chatter. Everybody's been Marab on this streak. Marab doesn't want to fight Aljo for the championship. Aljo gets sparked and then goes up, and then in comes Marab. These guys have been going back and forth. Marab's been going at it with Suga's coach. It's been an interesting build up here. Marab's cutting out stitches out of his eye. Himself with like some big old scissors, which was an
Yeah.
interesting. So he did have that injury before the fight, so that's going to be a little vulnerability above that eye. That cut was
Yeah.
pretty deep, but
It's
and
not
then
in a great spot
also
either.
last week, I think it was late last week, there was pictures that surfaced of Marab with who had staph on his arm. It definitely looked like
Yeah.
staph on his arm. So he's got that going for him. But I mean, he's just a machine. He's a cardio machine. He just comes forward. He's gonna stick onto you like glue. He's gonna go for those takedowns. He's not gonna stop trying. He already said this fight's personal. What that means, I don't know. Because I mean, you don't want to sit. If he strikes with O'Malley, he's dead. He doesn't stand
Yeah.
a
Not a good
chance.
idea.
So I mean, just get in there and just take him down repeatedly, pretty much. O'Malley's going to want to keep it on the feet. Can he do it? I mean, we've seen Peter Yan take him down pretty easily. Aljo really didn't really try to attempt takedowns, which was interesting. And he got put out. And I definitely think they're going to come in here with the wrestling heavy game plan. Marab's going to have to get in there, get on his legs, and take him down. But like you said, I can see Marab's been cracked before. We've seen him get
Yeah.
cracked. That chin is we've seen him. And if you get hit with O'Malley, but one of those little sharp counters, you're gonna go. You're not gonna be able to pop right back up. I think you're pretty much going to sleep. And
Yeah. Thank you. Johnny's frozen.
all right. I'm back. I'm back.
You back?
I'm back.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I think O'Malley's win condition is probably a KO early because I think they're like maybe.
Oh man, come on. We're almost done.
All right, I'm back. I'm back. Fucking
Yeah, I
internet,
don't know
man.
what's going on, man.
It's chopping out right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting one. All the monies came in on O'Malley. Now he's the favorite at the dog price. I kind of like O'Malley. I mean, Marab was like minus 180, and then all
Yeah.
the stuff started coming out with the cut and the staff, and just more money has been piling in. Is that staff going to affect Marab's cardio? Is that going to make him tired? Is that going to affect his main weapon? Is it even going to affect him at all?
Yeah.
It's a big question mark. But
If
at the
there's
plus
anybody
money, I'm
that
going to
can
have.
fight through the fatigue of staff, it's probably Marab
And
of
at the
all
money
of
line
them.
price right now, I'm gonna have to go with Marab at plus 110. Have to hope he avoids that bomb and gets in and gets those takedowns. I mean, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
side with Marab here to get it done. And then maybe a
that's kind of where
sprinkle
I'm
of
at.
O'Malley KO 1-2-3. It's like plus 350. I mean, maybe sprinkle
Yeah.
that a little bit to back yourself up. But yeah, I think Marab gets it done.
Yeah, I feel the same way. From a DraftKings perspective, I feel like I'm just going to play Marab and hope to God that he doesn't get cracked early. Because if he doesn't, there's no doubt, even if O'Malley's having success, and he is landing, Marab's still going to land a bunch of takedowns. Like, there's no doubt about it. If Marab's standing, he's going to be in on a leg, push him against the cage, drag him to the ground. So I think from a DraftKings perspective, we could get, great value on Marab here. He's the underdog. He's going to be cheap. You know, I just have to hope that O'Malley doesn't catch him right
But I
off the
can
rip.
just see in my head, I can just see him just fucking bam, putting him out. Like,
I
but
know.
if he does it, then Marab is gonna win easily, and Marab's gonna look like a -500 favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
That's
like
kind of the
it's
way this
tough.
fight's
Like
going to go. It's
I
either
can envision him cracking him and putting him away, or
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I hear you, man. And I'm probably going to bet the early KO for O'Malley. I think as it goes longer, though, like third, fourth, fifth rounds, I don't know if O'Malley, because at that point, O'Malley's probably going to be worn down a little bit. It's not like he's fighting Cheeto where he's just boxing his face
Yeah,
off. He's going to be defending takedowns. It's going
he
to be
was
a
fighting
hard
a
fight.
punching bag against Cheeto.
Yeah,
Cheeto was just a punching bag, so
yeah. So
you're not gonna get tired.
he will be more fatigued in this fight. So I don't think his power will translate late into the fight. But yeah, I mean the early KO is definitely live. But yeah, man, it's just
Yeah,
hard
I
to.
think if I have to, like, I mean, maybe bet a little on the early KO, maybe one or two, and then main bet the money line, because I don't know. What's the
Yeah,
KO
it's a
one
good
or
one.
two? It's out. KO one or two is 4-1, so you can throw like a quarter unit on that to kind of protect yourself a little bit,
Yeah,
and then bet the Marab money line for whatever your unit is.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way I see it. I will not be surprised either way. If O'Malley sparks him, I won't be surprised. If Marab ragdolls him, I won't
Or
be surprised. That's just
can even get a better number like on Marab's decision. I mean, I don't see Marab finishing him. So that
yeah. I think especially knowing how Marab is too, like he'd be willing to drag the fight longer and kind of try to just beat up on O'Malley and just kind of make him look bad. Um, Almost like what he did with Cejudo. Like Cejudo, he's carrying him around the cage, just like joking around with him up on his shoulder.
yeah.
Like I could see a situation
Yeah,
where
but
Marab
I don't
does
want to
that.
see him I don't want to see him playing around though like that if I got my
No,
money
I
on
hear
him.
you.
You know what I
I
mean?
don't think it's the greatest idea, but I also don't think diving into a frozen pond is a good idea. And he did that and busted
No.
himself
Yeah.
open. So it's Marab.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
pretty funny.
guy's a maniac. But all right, your internet's like a little bit choppy, so I think we'll get out of here before we freeze up again. We will be live most of the weekend. We've got NFL tomorrow. We've got the live show, and we'll have NASCAR all weekend. We'll have the UFC. We'll have college football, NFL, UFC. We're live for it all. Tune in. If you haven't signed up yet, I believe it's Nuke 25 gets you first week free. Or no, it's we might still be using the Lisa Ann, but either way, first week free.
I think it's
Um,
Nuke NFL or something.
Nuke NFL. Okay. We've got a few promo codes out there. Get the first week free. But sign up. We had a great start to the NFL season. We plan on keeping that going. Yeah, that's about it. So I guess for Johnny, I'm Tommy. Good luck this weekend.
Laters.